Germanic. The Germanic cultural region traces its origins to the ancient tribes of northern and central Europe who shared related languages, mythologies, and social structures. Over centuries, this foundation developed into the cultural cores of Germany, Austria, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and parts of Switzerland, influencing neighboring regions. It is strongly associated with Germanic languages such as German and Dutch, alongside enduring traditions in folklore, craft guilds, communal organization, and literary scholarship. Germanic societies played central roles in shaping the Holy Roman Empire, the Protestant Reformation, and the scientific and industrial transformations of Europe. The region also maintains a rich cultural legacy of music, philosophy, architecture, and seasonal folk customs that continue to define regional identity. Scandinavian. The Scandinavian cultural region centers on Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, with close cultural and historical ties to Iceland and the Faroe Islands through shared Old Norse heritage. Its foundations lie in the Norse societies of the early medieval era, known for shipbuilding, maritime trade, and exploration across the North Atlantic and European coasts. The region produced the Viking Age, which shaped settlement patterns and cultural memory throughout Northern Europe. Scandinavian identity emphasizes communal governance, legal assemblies called tings, social cooperation, and strong local traditions. Folklore featuring trolls, ancient spirits, and heroic sagas remains influential, alongside distinctive wooden architecture, runic history, and a cultural emphasis on craftsmanship, maritime heritage, and rural coastal continuity. Anglic. The Anglic cultural region is rooted in the traditions of England and later expanded to include Scotland, Wales, and Ireland through shared political and linguistic development. Its foundations lie in the blending of Anglo-Saxon, Norse, and Norman influences, which shaped the English language and the social frameworks of common law and parliamentary governance. Over time, Anglic culture became associated with a strong literary tradition, marked by authors such as Chaucer and Shakespeare, and with the development of universities, urban life, and maritime trade. The region fostered ideas of individual rights, legal continuity, and civic institutions that influenced political culture worldwide. Distinct forms of music, folklore, rural village identity, and evolving regional dialects remain central to Anglic cultural expression. Celtic. The Celtic cultural region refers to the traditions of Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Brittany, Cornwall, and the Isle of Man, descending from the ancient Celtic peoples of Western Europe. Over time, these communities preserved distinctive languages, music, oral storytelling, and clan-based social memory despite the expansion of neighboring cultural powers. Celtic identity is strongly tied to mythology, heroic epics, sacred landscapes, and seasonal festivals that emphasize connection to place and ancestry. Traditional arts such as bagpipes, harps, intricate knotwork design, and bardic poetry remain defining symbols. While often associated with rugged coasts, highlands, and rural lifeways, Celtic culture also includes vibrant urban cultural revivals. Today, efforts to sustain Gaelic and Brythonic languages remain central to this cultural region's continuity. Italic. The Italic cultural region centers on the Italian peninsula and its surrounding islands, rooted in the ancient Italic peoples and shaped profoundly by Rome's classical heritage. This region is defined by a long continuity of urban life, artistic expression, regional identities, and civic tradition. The legacy of the Roman world influenced law, architecture, language, and ideas of citizenship across Europe. Over centuries, the Italic sphere developed rich Renaissance art, humanist scholarship, opera, monumental architecture, and regional culinary traditions that emphasize locality and seasonal produce. Distinct cities such as Florence, Venice, Naples, and Rome each formed influential cultural centers with their own styles. Today, Italic identity is strongly tied to craftsmanship, historical memory, family networks, and a vibrant regional diversity that shapes everyday life. Iberian. The Iberian cultural region encompasses Spain and Portugal and formed through the interaction of several historical populations, including pre-Roman Iberian and Celtic groups, Roman settlers, Visigoths, and Muslim-ruled Al-Andalus. This history produced a shared base of Romance languages, most notably Spanish, Portuguese, Catalan, and Galician, along with regional legal and administrative traditions. The region is marked by distinct agricultural systems, maritime trade networks in the Atlantic and Mediterranean, and long histories of urban centers such as Toledo, Cordoba, Lisbon, and Barcelona. The Iberian Peninsula played a key role in early global exploration, leading to overseas cultural links in Latin America, Africa, and Asia. Internal diversity remains significant, particularly between Castilian, Catalan, Basque, and Portuguese cultural identities. Gallic. The Gallic cultural region refers to the areas shaped by the Gallo-Romance languages and traditions, centered primarily in France, as well as parts of Belgium, Switzerland, and northern Italy. Its origins lie in the interaction between Celtic Gaul, Roman administration, and later Frankish governance, producing a unified linguistic and social landscape. French became associated with centralized monarchy, codified legal structures, and standardized education, which helped consolidate regional identities. The region developed notable forms of agriculture, town organization, guild crafts, and administrative institutions that later influenced Western European governance. Distinct regional cultures persist, including Breton, Provençal, Alsatian, and Walloon traditions, though unified by shared linguistic roots and cultural frameworks that formed a common Gallo-Romance heritage. West Slavic. The West Slavic cultural region includes Poland, Czechia, and Slovakia, along with historical communities in parts of eastern Germany and southern Poland. It originated from early Slavic settlement in Central Europe, shaped by contact with Germanic, Baltic, and Hungarian neighbors. The region is unified by West Slavic languages, Polish, Czech, and Slovak, and by a shared legacy of medieval kingdoms such as Great Moravia, Poland, and Bohemia. These states developed distinct administrative, legal, and religious traditions. In recent history, West Slavic nations experienced foreign partition, Austro-Hungarian rule, and 20th century Soviet alignment, followed by democratic transitions and European Union integration. Modern West Slavic societies maintain strong cultural continuity alongside dynamic economic and political modernization. East Slavic. The East Slavic cultural region includes Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus, formed through the early medieval state of Kievan Rus, which established shared linguistic, religious, and administrative traditions. The adoption of Eastern Christianity contributed to the development of Slavic liturgy, monastic scholarship, and distinctive artistic forms such as icon painting. Over time, regional centers including Kiev, Novgorod, and Moscow shaped separate political traditions, resulting in varied cultural and historical paths, while maintaining related East Slavic languages. Rural village organization, communal land practices, and oral epic poetry played significant roles in cultural continuity. Literature, Orthodox liturgical music, and the preservation of historical chronicles all represent long-standing elements of East Slavic cultural expression. Balkans. The Balkan cultural region spans Serbia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, North Macedonia, Montenegro, Bulgaria, and Albania, formed through interaction among Slavic, Greek, Albanian, and Vlach-speaking populations. It developed at the crossroads of Byzantine governance, Orthodox and Catholic traditions, and the Ottoman administrative and legal system, which influenced architecture, cuisine, music, and social organization. Distinct forms of village networks, clan lineage structures, and customary legal codes shaped local identity. During the 19th and 20th centuries, the region experienced imperial withdrawal, state-building movements, and shifting political borders, which contributed to the formation of multiple national cultures. In the post-Yugoslav era, different states adopted varied political and economic frameworks while maintaining enduring cultural ties rooted in shared heritage. Hellenic. The Hellenic cultural region centers on Greece and historically connected Greek-speaking communities across the Aegean and Mediterranean. Its foundations lie in ancient city-states and the spread of Hellenistic culture and the continuation of learning and administration under the Byzantine Empire. The region developed a long tradition of philosophy, liturgy, monumental architecture, and maritime trade, supported by networks of ports and island communities. Orthodox Christianity shaped religious identity, ritual life, and artistic forms such as iconography and chant. During the 19th and 20th centuries, national revival movements, independence, and political reorganization contributed to the formation of the modern Greek state. Cultural continuity is expressed through language, regional festivals, family networks, and strong local historical memory. Anatolian. The Anatolian cultural region centers on modern Turkey and reflects a layered history shaped by Hittite, Greek, Roman, Byzantine, and Seljuk civilizations, followed by the development of the Ottoman Empire. The city of Constantinople, later Istanbul, served as a major political and religious center for both the Byzantine and Ottoman periods, influencing law, architecture, scholarship, and trade networks across the region. Anatolian culture incorporates Turkic languages, Islamic learning, and long-established systems of urban and rural organization. Architectural forms such as basilicas, mosques, caravanserais, and city walls illustrate these historical transitions. In the 19th and 20th centuries, the shift from empire to republic, educational reforms, and urban development reshaped cultural expression, while regional customs and local traditions remain active in daily life. Finno-Ugric. The Ugric cultural region is centered on Finland and Hungary, along with related language communities in northern Fennoscandia and western Siberia. These groups trace their origins to a shared Finno-Ugric ancestral population that once occupied territories near the Ural region, from which different communities gradually migrated and developed distinct cultural patterns. The region is defined by the Finno-Ugric language family, which differs in grammar and vocabulary from surrounding Indo-European languages. Early Ugric societies relied on forest and steppe environments, practicing fishing, hunting, pastoral herding, and small-scale agriculture. Over time, Finland and Hungary developed separate state traditions and literary identities, while maintaining deep-rooted oral epic poetry, musical forms, and seasonal customs that reflect their common cultural inheritance. Baltic. The Baltic cultural region is centered on Lithuania and Latvia, whose populations speak Baltic languages that form a distinct branch of the Indo-European family. These languages preserve several archaic linguistic features, linking them to early Indo-European speaking communities in the region. Historically, Baltic societies were organized through village networks, clan leadership, and fortified hill settlements, with long-standing traditions of seasonal rituals and oral song poetry. The medieval Grand Duchy of Lithuania unified large territories and developed administrative, military, and legal institutions that shaped regional identity. Latvia and Lithuania later experienced periods of external governance and shifting political boundaries, contributing to the formation of modern national cultures. Today, the Baltic region maintains linguistic continuity, choral traditions, and strong regional cultural identity. Caucasic. The Caucasic cultural region occupies the Caucasus Mountains and surrounding lowlands, including Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and smaller highland communities. It is characterized by significant linguistic diversity, with Kartvelian, Armenian, Northeast Caucasian, and Turkic language groups present in close proximity. Mountain geography shaped fortified settlements, terrace agriculture, and clan-based social organization, supporting strong local identity. Religious traditions include Orthodox Christianity, Armenian Christianity, and Islam, reflected in regional architecture and ritual practices. Throughout the 19th and 20th centuries, shifting borders and state systems reorganized political life. Yet polyphonic singing, metalwork, weaving, and seasonal festivals keep culture alive.